When should a customer buy a super top up? Why and when should a customer buy a super top up? And you can explain super top up and then you can answer this question.
Super top up is basically a separate policy, but works as an extension of your existing policy. Right.
Okay.
So suppose you have a 5 lakh cover, you wanted to have a 1 crore cover. Then you can buy an extension which will start from 5 lakh 1 and basically pay claims till 1 crore. So you will have one policy which is 5 lakh and then you will have an extension which will be from 5 lakh 1 to 1 crore. That is basically called a super top up policy. This policy will not pay claims obviously till 5 lakhs and then it will pay above that. This thing which is 5 lakhs is deductible, right? So top up policies are also called high deductible policies, right? And I'm just letting you know, which basically means that आपका एक particular amount of claim will not be paid by this policy. Beyond that, this policy will start paying claims. So in a 5 lakh policy with a, let's say a policy 1 crore policy with a 5 lakh deductible, basically the claim amount, the top up is 5 lakh के ऊपर 1 crore and the company will basically start paying claims only when the claim for that entire year, the hospital bills for that entire year are above 5 lakhs.
You are saying top up, like I heard of super top up. Is top up and super top up different?
Yeah. I typically use both of them interchangeably, but they are different terms. Top up basically is when the insurance company is giving the same deductible, which is basically कि एक कितना claim के ऊपर जाएगा, then the insurance company will pay is per hospital bill. That is the case of top up. Right.
Okay.
In case of super top up, it is basically all the hospital bills that happen in a particular year. So your hospital costs in a year are calculated. Super top up is obviously better because आपका एक hospital bill 5 लाख के ऊपर कभी जाएगा नहीं, तो आपको कभी भी not be able to use a top up. But your entire year's expenses can go above 5 lakhs. So a super top up का chances of usage are much higher. Typically, no insurance companies today, at least as far as I know, sells to top up. Everybody sells super top up now.
And could you tell the customers out there, like, why should they go ahead and buy a super top up plan?
When should they buy a super top up plan? Right? So one is probably when your existing insurance company is not upgrading your cover, right? So is basically कोई company है जो आपका cover upgrade ही नहीं कर पा रही, या probably they don't have an upgrade possible. There are policies where, let's say you are stuck with 10 lakhs cover and you are asking the insurance company to upgrade, but they don't have a option of above 10 lakhs. So that could be one situation. So the second situation is when basically this is the most common situation, is where a customer wants to save on premium. So let's say when you buy a 1 crore health insurance policy, one policy, versus if you buy a 10 lakh plus 90 lakh super top up policy, there could be a saving of around 10 to 15% premium just because you bought two policies.
Okay.
But I also want to mention this over this conversation that we are having, is that this difference is an arbitrage, and typically in a particular number of years it will get bridged, because this advantage that is there is not going to be there for long. It is a temporary advantage that you have when you buy a 5 plus 95 or a 10 plus 90 versus buying a 1 crore. The difference in premium का जो advantage है वो long term नहीं है, वो short term है, right? Because sooner or later an insurance company will basically realize that the risk that they are basically serving here versus here in terms of basically covering the risk is the same, right? So kabhi na kabhi wo arbitrage hat jayega is what I feel. So but it is not wrong to basically benefit from this temporary arbitrage while you are young. Typically, let's say in the long run, even if you have to pay the same premium, it's fine, right? But you will right now save money.
So basically, you are saying like the insurance company might increase the premium for the super top up.
They will increase the premium in super top up is what I feel, because largely, to dekho, a lot of people, we recommend that you buy a super top up from the same company, right? And if the restrictions are not there in super top up and it's a policy which covers everything, then essentially the company is liable to pay for the entire 1 crore. Right. So it's just currently a lens at which an insurance company is looking at it with two separate policies. If they start looking at it as one liability, then again the problem about pricing it as a one liability will come into picture. Right. One is this, and second is basically utilization. Health insurance companies don't charge you premiums based on the coverage, but based on their probability of how much you are actually going to use. मैं आपको एक data pack दे रहा हूँ, like which I'm saying that आपको unlimited data pack है, मतलब unlimited broadband coverage है इसमें, but I know, right, average customers usually will use 200 GB, right? तो मेरा जो pricing है on an overall basis, if I'm a manufacturer who is basically service provider who's giving you broadband, is basically based on that, right? Because
Got it.
at one point I am buying that data, right? Or
Mhm,
whatever it is called. I'm not a
Mhm,
technical
mhm.
expert in that area, but I'm trying to say this. Similarly in health insurance also, they know that utilization is not going to be 1 crore on
Got it.
a pool level basis of
Mhm,
customers. So they are going to charge you based on what is the probability of the highest amount of claim that you can make is being charged. So as hospital rates are increasing and healthcare inflation is increasing, the utilization will grow, right? The utilization will grow and it will basically hit the super top up deductible number, and that's when super top up
Achha, okay.
premiums will also increase.
Got it. Got it. Got
The
it.
third reason why a lot of people buy super top up is typically they look at it as a stop loss, right?
In
Okay,
the sense.
I can buy a super top up policy above a certain amount and I can probably afford the remaining amount. Like I can buy a super top up policy of 5 lakhs and above, and let's say a 1 crore cover. At the same time, I feel that whenever there is a 5 lakh claim or a hospitalization that will happen, I will pay from my pocket, right? I have enough wealth or savings that will take care of that, right? So basically, how it works is a lot of people don't want to pay a lot of premium in health insurance, and so they say that ye 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, I will pay from my savings. I'll just buy something for a larger loss or a very, very significant loss, which maybe will wipe out my wealth or my savings. 5 lakh I can take care of, right? So a lot of people buy super top up without the base plan also, just
Acha.
to take a coverage on the larger expenses in healthcare and not basically worry about the small expenses because they have enough savings for that.
So isn't this like ironical, because like they are paying 5 lakh from their pocket, but just for saving the premiums.
Yeah.
If they'll pay 5 lakhs, so
Yeah.
वो 10 साल तक पॉलिसी तो मिल ही जाएगा ना. Let's say
Yeah.
कि they are ticket
Yeah.
size is 40,000, तो
Yeah, so it's an approach, right? Meaning a lot of people look at health insurance as an expense for covering risks. And if they feel that they have enough wealth to be able to take the smaller risks, then why does a person have to spend for that risk when they have the capacity to pay for that risk? It's a cost benefit analysis that people do कि इतने के लिए, like I might as well take a cover for something that I cannot pay for and not take a cover for something that I can pay for. And why do? Then that's a waste of money because I can pay for it that way.
Got it.
So in a connected area where I'm seeing that a lot of people are using super top up as a strategy is basically a lot of people are looking at health insurance premiums very closely and seeing that premiums are rising very fast. Right? And because premiums are rising very fast, there is a view that while I am becoming older, if the premiums are going to zoom up in such a fast pace, by the time I am old, maybe 55, 60, become a senior citizen, I don't have enough income, will I be able to afford this kind of a premium? Right? Today also we see this happening, that a senior citizen who's 75 years old, buying a 2-3 lakh rupees, having a renewal of 3 lakh rupees sum insured, has a premium coming to a lakh of rupees also, right? Or let's say 75,000 rupees also. This is what people are seeing for their own parents. So they are now worried that when I will become that senior citizen, will I be able to afford this premium? So the strategy that people are using is that they are taking this base cover and a super top up cover separately with a view that if the premiums go up very high, they will stop paying premium for the base and have a super top up which will take care of the larger healthcare expenses, and base tab tak utna wealth ban jayega to be able to pay for those base. So that's also the reason why super top up is bought. It's a strategy by which you're doing a larger level risk management for healthcare expenses at the time of larger level of risk management for health insurance premiums going up, specifically for the base policy, because base policy में zero से cover शुरू होता है, तो उसका premiums increase होने का chances are much higher than a super top up where the risk for an insurance company starts after a certain amount of money.
Understood. This approach seems good, like एक तीर दो निशाने. Okay.